Hey everyone, it is Mark here. I'm a bisexual guy, and today I want to talk about the wonderful topic of bottoming. Here at Not Defining, we talk about those things which are maybe a little bit more taboo, maybe a little bit difficult to talk about. And so what better thing to dive into than the topic of bottoming? As bisexual people, I think a lot of us have questions about what this kind of sexual experience would be like. And so I really wanted to share both my personal experiences, but also what I've learned from speaking to hundreds of people about sex and sexuality. So here are some of my perspectives about bottoming. The very first one is, it feels so good. Okay, it feels so good. There, I've said it. You don't have to bottom, okay? For a lot of people, it's not their thing. However, if it's something that you're thinking about, I would really recommend it, okay? Especially as guys, we feel like we've only got one way to experience sexual pleasure. And that is so wrong. You know, our bodies are made to experience both external sexual stimulation and internal stimulation, okay? There are thousands of nerve endings in that area. You have the prostate, the P-spot, which is the center of so-called male-bodied people's sexual pleasure. So if it's something that you're thinking about maybe doing, do it. It's amazing. It's a completely different, I feel, a completely different sexual pleasure than the type that you would get from the penis. It feels different. It's in a way, I don't know what other people think, and I love to hear your experiences. Stimulating the penis, it's like this kind of tension. It's like you're tensing your muscles. You know, you tense the muscles in your pelvis, you know, that kind of thrusting action, right? And the pleasure comes from the tensing, right? You know what I mean? With bottoming, it's like the opposite, right? It's like the more you relax, the more pleasure you feel. And so for me, it's this yin and yang. It's this plus and minus. It's like this other 50% of the pleasure that you can feel sexually as a human being. And I feel like if I had never experienced that, I would be missing out on such a great experience. So that's the first thing. The second thing is, and by the way, if you would like to chat about this, if you are struggling with your sexuality, or you've got questions, or you want to meet other bi people and talk about experiences, then come and join us on patreon.com/notdefining. We've got group chats. You can chat with me. We've got all kinds of extra content on there. And I also offer one-on-one coaching, which you can look at in the links below. So the second thing is that not everybody does it and not everybody likes it. Not everybody has to do it. I think particularly if you are a guy having sex with a guy, there's this expectation that you're going to have to do it. No. So there are a lot of people who don't do it. One of the things that has recently kind of started to be used more is the term side. Okay. And if you put the word side on your dating profile, what that means is that you are somebody who is not necessarily interested in penetrative sex. And that is quite a common thing. Okay. So if you're there and you're like, well, I want to get with a guy, but I really don't want to do this at all, that's okay. Lots of people don't. In addition to that, if you just feel like a top, that's also fine as well. You will have lots of bottoms who will absolutely love to be with you, right? You do not have to be verse. If it's not something for you, you do not have to do it. Period. The next thing I would say about it is that it doesn't mean anything about your sexuality, okay? I think so many people assume that if you're a bottom, well, that means you're more gay, right? And as bisexual people, that's just not the case. So there are so many bi guys who are attracted to women, and they're also attracted to men, and they're bottoms. There's an assumption that if you're bi, when you're getting with a guy, you're always going to be a top, because somehow being attracted to women means that you're going to be a top with guys. No. None of that is true. It is quite possible that you're attracted to women and you are the top with a woman primarily, and then you actually fancy doing something completely different. Yeah. And so you fancy being a bottom with a guy because it is like the polar opposite, right? It's that diversity, that variety, right? Or maybe not. Also, you may be one of those wonderful guys who has discovered the incredible pleasure of being a bottom with a woman. We assume that a man always has to be the top with a woman and the woman always has to be the bottom. No. Guys, you are missing out. There is nothing quite like flipping that power dynamic, changing it up, having fun, exploring different roles in a male-female relationship. That's incredible, right? And especially if you are with, like, let's say a queer or a bi woman, you know, bottoming doesn't have to be with a man. So if that's something that you want to explore, I cannot tell you how many women really love being in that top role with a man. I cannot tell you how many women. And if you never admit it, you may never know. So just saying. So the next thing I would say is that preparation is really important. It's not something that you can necessarily just do on a whim. Okay? So I would really suggest, particularly if you're new to it, get a toy, use your fingers, explore by yourself, having self-pleasure in that area before you go and do it with somebody else. It is going to be a lot more comfortable. It can often really hurt. Even if you have prepared, it can often really hurt, particularly at the start. It's normally just like a sharp pain, but if you are slow and gentle, it should normally go away very quickly and you'll start to feel good. But like any kind of penetrative sex, like you have to be gentle, you have to use lubrication, you have to just really take it at your own pace, because it can be something that is uncomfortable, at least at the start. One thing that can really help is to try different positions. So it might feel really uncomfortable in like one position, but then you turn it around and you try another position and it's actually much more comfortable. So explore with your partner, explore with yourself what angles and what positions feel best for you. The other thing I would say is that you don't have to be versatile. Okay, so sometimes you will have like a top and a bottom. Yeah, one person is always top, one person is always bottom. I would encourage you, if that is what you really want to do that and be clear about that. Okay, don't get into a situation where you're like, I'm really a bottom, but maybe I could top sometimes just to make you happy. If that doesn't make you happy, if you don't want to do that, don't do it. Yeah, and vice versa. Don't say, oh, I'm a top. Oh, but maybe I could bottom, maybe, just to make you happy once in a while. If that's not something you want to do, don't do it. Don't do it. You do not have to do anything that you don't want to. And similarly, if you are versatile, if you like to top and bottom, be clear about that. Yeah. Are you like 80% top, 20% bottom? Yeah. Or are you 50-50? Yeah. Some guys like to do both within the same sexual experience. Yeah. They like to flip between one and the other. Some people really don't like that. I really don't like that. I cannot get my head around that. That confuses the hell out of me. And it's not right or wrong, but it's just about knowing what you want and being really clear with the other person about what you want so that you can both have a great time. And the final thing I would say is never assume that you know if someone is a top or a bottom. So a lot of people fall into the trap of thinking, oh, this big, masculine, macho, brawny guy is definitely going to be a top. I cannot tell you the amount of times, and you ask gay and bi men, and they will tell you, it's so funny the amount of times that you assume this big, tough guy is going to be a top and he is a super, super bottom, right? Or you think, oh, this tiny little, very femme guy is going to be a bottom and he's just like a total dom power top, right? So do not assume anything about anyone. If you're more feminine, if you're more masculine, if you're bigger physically or you're smaller physically, it does not make a difference. Always ask and always check. Okay? So have fun, experience it if you can, always be safe, always make sure that you are having a good time and, thinking about your partner, and you'll have a great time. Do you have any questions? Have you got any experiences to share? I would love for us to all be more comfortable talking about this. So come and subscribe, come and comment, come and share. And I would love, love, love to hear what you have to say. Thank you for listening. And if you want to hear more about anal sex and how you can kind of use self-pleasure to prepare, then check out this video and I will speak to you again very, very soon. Thanks for listening. Bye for now.